What non-sexual fantasies do you have? Pause the time and have few hours more for my job. Assignment, sleep, etc., etc., etc. We all need a click remote with a pause button. Nothing else. Just the pause. Please. I've had quite a few Zoom meetings recently where fast forward would be a treat. The one advantage of having a toddler. When the meeting gets dull, I just say, sorry guys. Need to drop off. Everyone assumes I'm tending to my kid. Sometimes when I'm out in the woods I'm really tempted to get as lost as I can. Or when I'm driving to just keep going. Not because I hate my life, but because if I could start over somewhere where no one knew me I would. Wife worked with a guy who missed the exit to the job and kept going. Drive about 2 hours. Checked into a hotel and slept for like 2 days. Told his wife, but the job lost their minds. Came back. Quit engineering and sold suits for a year or so. Ex-boss would come in and try to get him back. Took 3 or so hires to replace him. Whenever I think about that it is time for a new job. Holy shit, that's a way to do it. He was probably just feeling a bit unmotivated. And if it took 3 people to replace him, I would be willing to bet he was overworked and underpaid. Turns out they should have tripled his pay, it looks like. Having a home theater. The kind that actually look like mini movie theaters. And are only found in multi-million-dollar homes. For some reason, I think about it a lot. It would just be sick to invite loved ones over to watch our favorite movies and fool around as if we were in an actual theater. I'm not even living on my own yet. I'm nowhere near that stage of life where I can have this. I'm too young with no career yet. I appreciate the help, advice. But I'm not planning on getting a home theater anytime soon. Savings. No debt. Being able to retire one day. From what job? Oh. Also the fantasy that I'll make a wage commensurate with what I actually contribute to the company I work for. Paid equal value to your labor? Sounds like you hate America. Strolling into the Vatican archives whenever I please to read whatever I want. You interested in manuscripts? Yes. Totally into source documents of any time that give glimpses into our actual history. You'll be amazed at what local universities have on private display. Call them up and ask for a tour. Most librarians are happy to chat about their collections. This is actually a cool idea and I might have to do it sometime. Especially since I just started college, it might be a bit easier with my student status. A bathtub that is deep enough the water covers my boobs and me knees. And is long enough I can lay flat on the bottom. I was staying in corporate housing for a while and the apartment I was in had a bathtub big enough that I could lie flat on my back without bending my knees. I'm 6'2". I took a bath every goddamn day. Have that perfect day by doing a bunch of different things with someone I can connect with on a deep level. I have a couple of friends they're in a relationship together with whom I've had experiences like this. We went to Vegas on July 4th. We went to the Santa Monica Pier and hung out on the beach all day earlier this month. We're trying to plan a trip somewhere fun once this pandemic dies down. Maybe Miami. We're not wealthy people. I'm 30. My buddy is 23 and his girlfriend is 21. They both interact with me like I'm their cool older brother or something. It feels nice. I haven't had a connection like this with people my age at all. My ex used to get pissed that I was hanging out with 2 people 7 to 9 years younger than me. She just doesn't understand. I hope you and everyone who upvoted and commented under you experience this with some cool ass people someday. Best of luck. Hey, it's completely normal to have that age gap in all sorts of relationships. Especially past 20. My best friend is 30. His girlfriend is 36. I'm 24 and my girlfriend is 20. Pre-COVID we used to hang out all time. Right now it's just loading my truck up and disappearing into the woods for a week. A TV with time travel capabilities. For example, I'd like to go 20 years into the future and watch the Super Bowl with no knowledge of what happened in between the present and that game. I just think it'd be cool to have my mind blown by everything that has changed. Being able to fly, not in a plane. Just me. I don't even care about flying. But I imagine having wings all the time. Same. When I was a kid I was obsessed with all the Maximum Ride books because I wanted wings like the kids in that series. I used to think when I grew up if get tattoos on my back, but thankfully I grew out of that desire lol. Still want wings though. Also used to wish dragons were real. 8 hours of sleep. I desperately want to have a family and have all my childhood's friends be their uncles and aunties. Just us in the same city or town. I am an immigrant to the UK from Hong Kong, and even though English is my first language, all my friends are spread over 3 continents, and I worry that my children will not understand my culture. I do not want to be that weird dad, and I miss my friends. Actually having my life together. I'm a fucking mess. All grown-ups are just pretending to have their life together. It took me quite a while to figure this out. You will eventually get good at pretending this as well. I'm a psychologist, and I can tell you that a lot of people have their lives together. The trick is to believe you are worthy of love and acceptance. Just the way you are now. It's unbelievably powerful. Holding hands and cuddling with someone. Whoa there cowboy, he said nothing sexual. What next? Caring for each other. Being called with a cute nickname. Like a thirsty whore. Buying a house. Ah, not even buying a house. Owning it outright without having to slog through a mortgage. I have this fantasy where my landlord wins Powerball. He's a lovely elderly Croatian man, and just lets us keep the house we're in currently. It's a beautiful little place that would be perfect as a starter home. If we'd been around 20 years ago, that is. I don't need millions of dollars. Just a small place I can call my own and raise my family in. Every time I think we've got enough for a deposit, the prices have drifted just beyond our reach again. I absolutely love that your dream is someone else winning the lottery and you benefiting a bit too. Shows you have a great heart. I hope you get that dream. Haha, thank you so much for saying so. He really is a nice old man. He runs errands for his ex-wife and adult kids' grandkids on Wednesdays, and used to visit his sister in the old age home on Saturdays before COVID. He just putters around fixing things for us when he notices there's something wrong. Our rent is basically what supports him and allows him to fix up his place. He lives behind us. Our place used to be dilapidated, and he fixed it up bit by bit before renting it. And now fixing his house with the rent money we give him. He was proudly showing my husband the concrete he scored from Aldi, of all places, the other day. Disposable income. I feel like the point of my work is to transfer funds from my employers to my creditors. Your checking account is just a layover for your creditors' money. A day where I don't have to do anything. No laundry. No work. Don't have to mow the yard or do dishes. Etc. Food will be delivered. I can just lay on the couch, browse Reddit and Twitter, and just enjoy the silence. I've managed to have a couple days like that. Let me tell you, they're as glorious as they sound. They're a once-in-a-blue-moon occurrence, but they're so worth it when they happen.
What y'all think about that
About
video?
7 or 8 years
Like
ago,
it?
I was working as a
Hope you
manager
did.
in a software company,
If you did,
which
be
was the
sure
most
to,
stressful
leave us
job
some
I've ever
feedback
done.
or
And I was 8 years
something.
into it. Suddenly an opportunity popped up to go to a conference in Spain for a week. And I decided, screw it. I have some money saved, and rented a private villa on an island in the Mediterranean for the following week. Finally, I had nothing to do but sit in the sun, jump in the surf, drink the local whatever it was, and just generally say fuck it to the world. I spent the first day laying on the couch reading a book. And it was awesome. And I really felt guilty about it. Being able to lose weight without even trying. Hell, I'd take being able to lose weight when I am trying. A beautiful sunlit art studio and someone to be creative in it with. This is my dream too. I'm a stained glass artist, and would love to share space with another artist, of any kind. Turns out my husband's death was a terrible accounting mistake by the hospital, and he just comes home one day after his amnesia clears. For years after my dad died, I would think I saw him somewhere. I would tell myself it was all a ruse and he left us to live his life with another family or something. I wasn't even mad. I just wanted him to be alive. I feel the same way. My dad died very suddenly in a work accident, and I never could bring myself to see him in his casket. So sometimes I just like to pretend that he's out somewhere fishing, enjoying his life. My grandparents died within 4 weeks of each other in 2016 after over 60 years marriage. In my mind, they're still in their little cottage. She is buying crap from QVC and he is quietly knitting. Happy together. My book. It's a fantasy I'm writing. Should be out before Winds of Winter. Maybe. I frequently fantasize about time travel. I legitimately have an obsession with the concepts of time travel. And time travel in fiction. I have a system in my head that I've never shared with anybody. So that if I ever need to converse with my past self, we will both know what to say so that he believes me and that it's not a prank. I frequently fantasize about interrupting the moment my parents meet. My dad picks my mom up in his taxi cab. He didn't treat her great. They stayed together for too long just because they had me. I'm emotionally stunted and broken because of things he did. I frequently dream about blocking their meet so that my mom could maybe have a better life. If you blocked their meet, wouldn't you create a paradox? Yes and no. But that really depends on which philosophy of time travel you follow. Or rather, which philosophy of time travel is real. If we live in a deterministic universe, then no, I wouldn't be able to block them from meeting, and if I attempted to anyway, I would fail and all of my actions would have already happened originally. So if I interacted with my dad, that always happened. It could be that my involvement is what actually causes them to meet in the first place. But we might not live in a deterministic universe. It might be that as soon as I time travel back to the 80s, a new timeline is spun off from the 80s. A timeline in which I suddenly appear in the 80s and everything that happens after that is free game. So I could puncture my dad's taxi that day so that he can't work and pick up my mom. I would never be born. But that doesn't matter because I'm from a different timeline. My mom can hopefully lead a happier life and I'll just put all my money in Microsoft and Google stocks and live my best life. I'd really like to own my own home. With prices the way they are where I live. Who knows if I'll get there without moving a good ways away. I'm a homeowner, 20+ acres. With a running creek on the property. My family has everything they need for a happy, stable life. No debt. With disposable income. As a family we watch the sun rise and set together. We talk openly about our emotions in a healthy manner. And help each other with our struggles. My children marry good partners. Perhaps one of them provides me with a grandchild. But they are all happy and well taken care of. My wife and I live out our golden years traveling and spending time with family. We die peacefully in our bed asleep together.